folks. All right, let's go to the Parlay boys. Yeah. Hey, guys, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. Thanks for asking. Good show so far. Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of that, too.
What's the that? What are you referring to?
You said a little bit of this, and I was saying, yeah, we also had a little bit of that.
What do you guys think about the Chris Avila, Jeremy Stevens announcement?
Big time. Exciting.
You like it?
Beef up the card.
You dig it, New York Rick?
Yeah, I mean, Stevens and Aldo was one of the better like MMA fighter boxing matches we've seen. So I wouldn't mind seeing Stevens back in there, and Avila's proven himself pretty solid in the boxing ring. So yeah, I like that.
I wonder who's the favorite in that fight.
Probably Jeremy Stevens.
You think so? Even though he's only had one fight.
I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like Jeremy Stevens will be a favorite in that one.
Any big takeaways from Eddie Hearn? I know you love the Eddie Hearn interviews, New York Rick. Anything jump out?
I mean, if Saudi Arabia can pull off that December card,
geez.
that'd be something special.
That would be something special. Holy shit. That would be nuts.
He seemed not confident that all those pieces would come together, but if they can even get 2 out of 3 there, I think they're cooking with gas. Obviously, if you can get the top 2, right? If you can get Fury, Usyk, and Wilder, Joshua, then you're golden. But I wouldn't mind seeing Francis versus Chisora on there. That's not bad.
Let me ask you guys, since we last spoke, let's presume Cejudo and Cheeto is a real thing. That fight, Max Holloway against Korean Zombie in Singapore, end of August. Corey Sandhagen against Umar Nurmagomedov, and Cyril Gane going up against Sergey Spivak. Which of those 4 GC do you like the best? Which of them made you pop of the 4 fights that we got? The big fights.
Umar versus Corey Sandhagen, like I can't wait. I think that one might be the most entertaining. It's just a huge test for Umar. And, I mean, Corey Sandhagen is a dog, as we've seen time and time again, and he shows no fear going into this matchup. He's obviously going to be well prepared for it, and I think he knows what he's getting into going against Umar. I think that was going to be fantastic. And then after that, the Cheeto Cejudo, that one caught me off guard. That one I was like, oh, wow, this is a crazy matchup. I'm excited for it. Was not expecting it. Especially, you know, Cheeto obviously losing last time out and now getting Cejudo. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well.
What about you, Mr. New York Rick?
Yeah, same. It's definitely Corey and Umar, and then a drop off after that for me. Like the other ones I'm not as excited about.
Yeah.
Corey and Umar is number 1.
Are you surprised that Corey is taking this fight?
No.
Nah.
He has told you on many an occasion, I'll fight 10 guys, I'll fight down, I'll fight up, I'll fight this. I just want to prove I'm the best fighter in the world. I think when you beat Umar, you are proving something, and Corey's about that. So not surprising at all. And to be honest, I'm not surprised about Cheeto and Cejudo either. Like those 2 seem to have that mentality. So not surprised at all.
Do we have the video of Corey talking about why he's taking this fight? This is a tremendous piece of content.
Yeah.
Can we play that, please?
Yeah, we absolutely can.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, I know you guys saw the announcement, fighting August 5th against Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm getting a lot of haters saying, why would you fight this far down in the rankings? He's going to beat my ass, blah, blah, blah. 2 reasons. 1, Umar's a great fighter, and I'm not trying to be world champ if I'm not the actual best in the entire world. So fighting Umar is a great challenge, and I accept it. And number 2, because I'm a beast, bitch. That's why. Peace. I'll see you guys in Nashville. Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
What a guy. I love that shit. First of all, sweet stash. His whole
Sweet pullover,
by the way,
too. The pullover.
The pullover is great. I'd like to throw Corey Sandhagen into the hat of social media user of 2023. Very underrated social media game. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I feel like he's a bit of a dark horse.
He's picked up his game big time this year.
He's got some low-key bangers.
Yes.
He really does have some low-key bangers.
Even that, the way it was cut. Like, I feel like he sent that to someone and they, like, cut it. Like, they zoomed in, they zoomed out.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I like to believe that he did that himself.
Nah, it's possible, but...
Either way is fine. But, yeah, he's picked up his IG game huge
big time.
This year.
Big time.
The
Corey's in the running.
Suarez fight I am also very excited for. The change of opponent.
Oh yeah, big time.
I like that one.
I was going to say that was another one that was announced yesterday. So that's August 5th. August 5th is going to be a very, very fun day.
Yeah.
With that, and of course the Paul Diaz fight, Kaikar France against Manel Cape. That's for Sydney in September. That's another fun one that we got this past week. So yeah, big time stuff.
Super fun one. That one is going to be fireworks for sure. And getting Kaikara France fight in Australia is going to be awesome.
Who won the John Jones Francis Ngannou exchange? Who won the face-off?
John Jones, but
did anyone?
I mean,
I thought Francis. I thought Francis won.
What?
That's what a lot of.
I mean, I don't think there's even. I don't think that's actually like a possible answer. I think the options are John Jones or nobody.
Wow.
How did Francis win it?
I don't know.
John Jones big dogged him all over the place.
You thought so?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I not once until you just mentioned this did I even consider a winner or a loser in that face-off.
I mean, isn't it amazing though that we could get like that was the most boxing moment in the history of MMA. Like you guys were literally fighting for the same promotion 2 months ago. And you never did this, and now you're doing this? Why are you teasing us like this? Like you could have made this happen for years and years and years. Why now? Why are we getting all this now?
Yeah.
It's very annoying.
It's just like the fans lost because we're never going to get it. It was kind of weird seeing. I know he was there to corner Green, but the bizarro world of John Jones head to toe in PFL stuff.
Very strange.
I truly believe that John Jones like didn't intend to go into that confrontationally, but once he was standing in front of Francis, it's just
they promoted it all over the place. Like they were promoting John Jones being at the event, like he was fighting.
PFL was pushing that. John Jones wasn't pushing that.
Right.
Maybe I missed it, but it felt like they kind of started promoting it late in the game. Like it felt like once he walked through the doors, they were like, "All right, now we can promote."
Well, I mean, if you promote it on Thursday, he's just not going to show up.
Yeah.
So you have to wait for him to get into the building. They did a good job. They
he led the dance the whole time. He was the one being the aggressor there.
Wow.
Making sure he was
touching him first, telling him I'm the king, forever the king.
Francis touched his belly.
He just hit everything.
I thought,
took the hat off.
I don't know. I thought, no, all right.
No, Johnny steamrolled him, but that doesn't mean anything.
Shout out to
Steamroll.
It's not a fight.
And B, steamroll's a bit much. Come on.
Steamroll? We're never going to see it.
Even a winner. Like, come on.
Shout out to Jared Cannonier, big win for him. Shout out to Arman Tsarukyan. We don't have to get into all of this because it happened on Saturday. Shout out to all the shitty officiating and judging and all that. Once again, it was just a cavalcade of mistakes. People saying they're tapping, they're not tapping. People getting headbutted, and then like 50 strikes after the headbutt when the guy's clear. It's like, what the fuck? It's so uncomfortable to watch that. Is there anything worse than watching that? Like someone's head just bouncing off the mat when they're clear, when the whole world can see that they're out.
Yeah, that was bad. Like I screamed at my TV. I was just like, "Oh, he's out! Like he is out!" Like, it was so clear. Like there was just nothing behind the eyes. He was gone once he hit the mat, and it was like vicious elbows, man.
And can I just say, I saw a lot of people with the Keith Peterson situation where it's tap no tap. Why are you laughing?
Something separate.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't even on screen. You just brought attention to it.
Oh, my bad. I don't know. I'm looking at you. Okay, so if Peterson says that fighter A has tapped, right, and it's very clear that they didn't, and then they go to the replay, and it's clear, the evidence is there, it backs it up that there was no tap. Why can't they restart the fight? Now, before you say, no, the rules say you can't, I say, who gives a crap? Change the rule. Why can't you're there? You're there. Everyone's there. Everyone's sweaty. Why can't you say, all right, no different than when you have to like restart something when it's not a fight-ending sequence. Let's say he's in his guard. Let's say it's a guillotine and he claims to have seen a tap. Put the guy back into the guillotine. Hold it. Say you only start when I'm ready, and then start. Why not?
No, you can't put a guy back in a guillotine. It's going to be a different guillotine. Can't do that.
No, fuck that.
How long was it too?
But what would be let me ask you something. What would be the point of that?
Well, first of all,
put the guy back in the guillotine to get choked out.
No, to declare a winner.
But that's not you're putting a guy in a finished submission. He was in a locked submission. You're putting a guy in a locked submission just to see him go to sleep. Like that doesn't
not to see him go to
achieve
sleep.
Anything
he can fight out. What are you? Everyone who's in a guillotine taps or goes to sleep.
It was a lock submission. He was about to submit. Like
he wasn't. He didn't.
I don't
tap.
think that's. What do you mean? Yeah, but that doesn't mean he wasn't about to tap. That doesn't mean he wasn't going to go to sleep.
Let's wait and see if
so
he
let's
actually
see that.
taps.
Let's okay. I don't see the point in that.
Both guys lose out on a potential win bonus. A, both of them lose out on a potential W. B, we're right there.
But you're proposing something that is separate. If you're saying get rid of show and win, that's a separate conversation from put a guy into a locked guillotine again to prove that he was going to tap out or go to sleep. Like it just doesn't.
But Rick, you're saying that it was like so clear that it was that the fight was about to be over, and like it was we were milliseconds away from seeing a tap, and then in that case, why even overturn it to a no contest?
Because it was stopped before a tap. He didn't go to sleep and he didn't tap.
And how do we know he was going to?
Yeah,
it looked like he was about to. Again, it doesn't really matter to me how many degrees we are away from how close he was to tapping. Putting a guy back into a locked guillotine as the solution for like, we didn't quite see what was going to really happen, so let's redo it, doesn't really
no, he fucked up. It doesn't happen
me.
all the time. And by the way, even if Keith or the rule is like, all right, I fucked up, the fight restarts, but it's standing. No different than a referee screwing up and saying that two guys need to like break up or stand up when they probably should. We've seen this 1,000 times. Why can't we try to? I'd be
more amenable to the idea of starting on equal footing with a penalty for the fighter who is in the weaker position, something to that effect. But I just don't love the idea of like, let me shove you in a guillotine again. That doesn't.
Then the fighter that didn't tap loses a point because of the ref's mistake.
No, I'm not saying they should lose a point. I don't believe in that. But by the way, this could be negotiable. My point is, why does it have to be, oh, the fight was stopped, we're done? Like, come on.
There's not really a clean solution.
Yeah, why don't we try to get this right?
I think that's the biggest thing. There is no real clean solution. How many minutes was it from the time that he tapped to the time that they didn't
this
tap?
Happens.
That they ended up calling it a no contest. Like now, these fighters, one thought that he got a finish win, the other is like making all these arguments where they at emotionally, where they at the adrenaline dumps and everything. It's very complicated.
Here's the problem with the scenario you've laid out. If the fighter who had the locked-in guillotine doesn't finish that submission, they're going to say, oh, my muscles were relaxed. I got burnt out. The other guy comes back and wins. I was going to finish that, and now you've allowed him to win instead of for me to have that advantage.
I think because both guys didn't get their win bonus, both of them would say...
but this is tied to the bonus. This is tied to the pay structure. This is not tied to what should be done from a regulatory standpoint.
Changes, then this sucks. Now I know the easy out is for the commission to be like, oh, we should not care about that. And I get that. But part of the reason why it is so detrimental is because of the system. So ultimately what I'm getting at is I feel like we talk about this scenario with every scenario. And ultimately, like when it comes to scoring, officiating, judging, these types of things, replay, and ultimately where we net out is, well, because of this and that, nothing changes. Literally nothing ever changes. Nothing changes. Nothing gets better.
Yeah, that I can agree with. Something needs to be done.
Nothing evolves ever. It's like, oh, because of this, we can't do this. And because of that, we can't do that. And it's like, fucking hell.
The idea that they got it right, like, okay, well, they reviewed it and they got it right isn't satisfactory to me. That's a half step, right? Yes, that's good that one person who would have had a loss on their record doesn't have a loss on their record, but how do we solve this issue and how do we correct this is step 2. We're halfway there, but that's not a satisfactory completion for me. Like, yeah, he doesn't have that loss, but the other guy doesn't have a win either, and there's no resolution to the fight. There needs to be something there.
It just feels archaic. You're using the replay, but ultimately the replay is just being used to overturn the decision. No, why don't we use the replay to get it right? It's like, I know this isn't baseball, but if a guy hits a ball and the ump calls it a home run, and then replay shows that it wasn't a home run, they don't just like say the dude's out. He goes back and it's a foul ball. And he gets to make it right.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but these are also just very different circumstances with it being
completely
a fist
different.
Fight.
I get it. But
I think they at least got it right by calling it a no contest rather than giving a loss to Ronnie Lawrence.
Sure. Anyway, let's make some picks for this weekend, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Where do we stand? We're back,
let's put
right?
ourselves a winning streak. Yeah,
let's go.
After last week. Nice, easy dub. Looks like we're approaching getting back to the green here. It's feeling
We'll be
good.
back.
I think we can get a dub this
Light
weekend.
work.
Yes, sir. You
That's
said
right,
it, not
Frankie.
me, Frankie.
That's right, Frankie.
All right, let's randomize this order. Ariel first, Frank second, Eric third, and I will go fourth.
Wait a second. What is going on here? I just got.
We're doing our picks.
Oh, okay.
Is this a breaking news music
What
situation?
happened?
What do we got here?
We're asking you what happened, dude.
I'm sorry, but someone just texted me. Wow, Porzingis is Porzingis.
Oh, Porzingis to the Celtics.
yes.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
This is what they text me? Fucking hell. I thought he was coming back to the Knicks.
Nope.
No,
Nah, he's into the
Celtics.
Celtics.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Celtics are working on a trade to acquire Wizards Kristaps Porzingis, a 3-team deal. Oh, I thought he was coming back to the Knicks.
That would have been pretty cool.
Fuck. Oh, Porzingis in the Celtics green?
Yeah, it's not. That's not it, right?
No, that ain't it. Okay, sorry. I apologize. I should have just looked it up right away, but I just got very excited. All right, what do we got? What do you got,
man? You're up
You're
first.
first.
Oh, fucking hell.
He's gonna take Kristaps Porzingis.
I'm so upset. I was so excited. All right, here we go. All right, there's a bunch of options. By the way, is PFL
14 fights.
Is PFL?
Yeah, sure. If you want to go to PFL, we can do PFL.
Wait, you said 14 fights. That doesn't include PFL.
Well,
Clearly.
I thought you were talking UFC, but yeah, you are free to go with PFL.
See, we made the mistake with Brendan Loughnane. Is Olivier Aubin-Mercier going to suffer the same fate?
I don't know.
It's a lot of fights.
I don't know, and he's right around that same number too.
Yeah, he's right around that same number. A lot of these UFC fights are very close.
Yes, they're much closer than the last 5 fights on the PFL card. That is for sure.
It's a whole bunch of minus 180s, minus 150s. Ultimately, I'm going to ride with, I'm going to right the wrong of 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to go with the Canadian Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Big fight for him.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him.
Minus 700.
Yes, sir. Is it minus 700?
That's what I'm looking at right here.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing minus 550, but cool.
Even
better.
I'm on DraftKings Sportsbook. Even better. That is not how this works.
Even worse.
Yes.
You should be confident no matter what. Just because a line is different should not make you feel any more confident.
Here we go.
All right, Frankie, that leads us to you.
Speaking of confidence, when you're on a long journey, sometimes you got to stop and just refill the gas tank. And we're going to go with Tetsuo Taira money line.
What? Is that a real person?
What was that metaphor?
No, but
wow.
what
the
was
disrespect for Tetsuo Taira there.
What was the preamble about?
I didn't understand what he said. It sounded like one long name.
Yeah, what was the metaphor?
Tetsuo Taira.
Really had to work for that one. Tyra? I think he's playing a play on words of tired.
No. This wasn't a pun. I was just saying that because I have used this guy before. I want to use him again. I'm putting gas back in the tank.
Oh, because you used him
Okay.
8 months ago for one parlay? We're supposed to all remember that?
Oh, are we supposed to shit on each other's picks here? Is that what we're doing now?
Tetsuo Taira,
I like the
minus
pick.
240.
I was just confused at what was happening there.
Oh,
But
Rick,
I
you're
love the
fine.
pick.
I'm just wow.
Taking on Kletson Rodriguez,
Oh, yeah.
minus 245. That brings us to you, Rick.
Yeah, I'm going to. Ariel talked about righting wrongs. I think in this fight, Shane Burgos is going to right the wrongs of his PFL debut.
I like that. I like that
wow,
one.
wow.
A lot of PFL action.
Chimbergo's
Right up against the line there.
minus 900. We're at minus money heading in to my pick.
Why not?
Why not? Let me see if I can get us to a plus money here. I can. I will head to the alternate total rounds, UFC Jacksonville, Austin Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Freight Train Lane playing in Jacksonville where he played his NFL days for the Jaguars, taking on Justin Taffa. I will go with the under 2.5. 14 of Lane's 15 fights have gone under the 2.5. That gets us to plus 112. Sharp stuff here, boys.
I like that.
Sharp
I like
stuff.
that. We're back, baby. We're back.
2 in a row. I'm feeling it.
For sure.
I'm feeling it too.
You know what it was? I think it was the call out, the pep talk from Juliana Pena, That's what we needed.
And she's still keeping tabs. She's
Great.
sending me screen grabs and stuff. She told me the
Yeah,
Twitter
she knows.
account. Wait, no, she told me the YouTube account didn't have it, but the Twitter account had it. I mean, she's all over the place.
Who was the
She
savior
knows.
last week for the odds? It was
Frankie.
Yes,
Frankie, for
it's actually Frank again. Frank, the only one taking one under a -500.
Confidence.
I love it.
It was an easy winner last week for you with Alessandro Costa. Staying
He
in the
looked great.
flyweight division. You're taking my gig, man.
Look at you. No unders though this time.
No, I took an under.
Oh, well, I mean in this.
Oh, yes. No flyweight under.
All right. Well, speaking of which,
Yeah, let's dive in. Well, first, let's recap last week. We didn't get to do that on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
2-3 on the singles, but we go 2-0 on the parlays, and we continue 1 to this week. We have Ilya Topuria as the last leg of one parlay after Vadim Nemkov and Arman Sarukian got it done. Dicey moment with Sarukian when he got rocked in the temple, but he still picked up the win and got it by finish. Overall, nice little winning week, back-to-back winning weeks, digging out of that hole of that of Black Saturday, as we call it in the Burks household, the -11 unit night, digging our way out. So hopefully we can string together the 3 straight weeks. Let's dive in to UFC Jacksonville. We start with the first fight of the night, Cody Brundage taking on SD Dumas. I will go with the under 1.5 in this one. I think these guys' fighting styles play into this. And then if you want to look at the numbers, Cody Brundage coming in on short notice, 5 of his 6 UFC fights, if you want to include Contender Series, have gone under the 1.5, including 4 straight. And then SD Dumas, if you're combining their fights, 14 of 20 have gone under the 1.5. SD Dumas also fighting out of Pensacola, just 5 hours away. The family, the friends, they're going to make the trip, so the crowd's going to be in his favor early on in the night. Those are the immeasurables that you have to include. We keep it rolling. Flyweight unders.
is this Jaguars colors?
Yeah. Shout out, right?
Fuck the Jags.
Wow.
Hate the Jags.
Wow.
Stupid.
You hate the
football. hate
you
the
hate
Jags.
the Jaguars.
Hate the Jaguars. They beat
Why?
the Bills in the playoffs.
Oh, you just can't let it go, huh?
I can't let it go.
I mean, y'all had no real title aspirations that year.
No, man. We had my guy Tyrod Taylor. He was gonna take us to the top.
Yep.
And then the other dude, fucking what's his name? Man, I blocked his Nathan Peterman. Remember he came in at the end?
Go.
He was
Yeah,
brutal.
5 interceptions in one half, all timer. I feel like no one has really ever said that they hate the Jags and actually meant
I
it.
hate the Jags.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Feel like a lovable team to me either way. Shout out to Duval and shout out to the Jags. I am not quitting flyweight unders just yet. Both of them this week, you can make the case for the under. Tyra, 8 of his last 10 have not seen the third round. Clayton, 4 of his last 6 have not seen the third round. Wouldn't be surprised with a submission. Wouldn't be surprised with a knockout. I think both of these guys can get finishes here. We keep it rolling. It's peak week, baby. The pride of Picks, Alabama, returns to the octagon. Trevor Peak, Mr. Standing Hammer Fists himself. And Trevor Peak is fighting. I'm going to have to take the under. 8 pro fights, all 8, ending under the 2.5. I know I am taking the 1.5. 6 of his 8 have ended in under the 1.5. 8 professional fights, all 8 wins. 8-0, all wins coming by way of knockout. On the other side, Chepe Mariscal, 5 of his last 7 have gone under the 1.5. Again, I think Peak's family is going to be in there. Chattanooga, Tennessee, not that far of a drive. Crowd's going to be coming for a show, and I think Trevor Peak is going to deliver. I said I'm on both the flyweight unders. Not heavy, but I got talked into them last night on No Bets Barred with my great co-host, Jed Mashu. The case here is not really in the numbers. Other than Josh Van, 8 pro fights, never seen a third round in those 8 pro fights. He's coming in on short notice. I always think he's making a pretty big step up in competition, taking on Zalgas. I know he's 1-5 in the UFC. And for that reason, 1-5 in the UFC, lost his last 2 by split decision. I think he needs to show out. He is somehow getting another chance at remaining in the UFC. I think he needs to show out. I think he knows he needs to get a finish. And taking on a guy that I think is a favorable matchup for him. I think he's going to be able to do it at plus money. I threw a little half unit on it, not only to support Zalgis, but also to support the flyweight unders. We keep it rolling. I guess I'm just a big fan of violence this week. Hopefully it delivers for Duval, because I'm also on the under in the Wellington tournament and Randy Brown fight. I think this is a nice matchup for Randy Brown. I think it is favorable for him in the striking. I think he's going to be able to get a knockout. Wellington tournament has been knocked out a couple times in the promotion. But if he isn't, been training with Glover Teixeira. If Wellington tournament is having success, I think he is live for a submission. I think both guys are live for a finish, and I think we get one here with the under 2.5. Next up, Neil Magny versus Phil Rowe. Kind of like looking in a mirror here. Both 6'3", both 80-inch reaches. Feel like they never really fight dudes that are their same size fighting in welterweight. But to me, this just feels like just a classic Neil Magny matchup. He's just going to be able to grind on him, use the grappling, have success in the striking, and just win a 15-minute decision. Just feel it in the gut that this is going to be a classic veteran Neil Magny performance, and he gets it done over Phil Rowe. Also, when you just look at the level of competition that Neil Magny has fought, I mean, he fights the best of the best. He's always down to get in the octagon with anyone. Phil Rowe, he has some impressive wins. But, this is a step up from the Jason Witts and the Orion Soses of the world. Just a couple more here.
The Ian Machado Gary sweepstakes, potentially? No.
Wow, I like that. Welterweight at 170.
No, because he said he wanted to fight him.
Oh, he said he wanted to fight Neil Magny.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I know he got Jeff Neal, but maybe if...
Yeah, I feel like no if Ian Gary wins, we're moving on from Neil Magny.
Oh, all right, fine.
I mean, do you not think that?
I mean, big win for Magny,
I feel like if Ian Gary goes out there and finishes Jeff Neal, we're moving on to bigger things.
Okay, fine.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You said
maybe I'm wrong.
Send all the hate his way.
All the Neil Magny hive.
Yes.
Coming after me. All right, just a couple more here. A couple more unders, man. I have a feeling this is going to be an exciting card. Brendan Allen, Bruno Silva. Under 2.5. I think this one goes one of two ways. Brendan Allen gets the takedowns, comes in, submits. Bruno Silva gives him his 7th loss by submission. Or he stands and he hangs on the feet. He'll probably have some success until he isn't. Bruno Silva, 20 wins by knockout in his career, has never been knocked out, stood in a 15-minute war with Alex Pereira. I mean, he is durable when it comes to the feet, and he has massive knockout power. We just saw it, him finishing Brad Tavares, which is not an easy task. We've seen Brendan Allen finished a couple times in the octagon, most recently to Chris Curtis. If he gets chinned, I will not be surprised if he goes out. But I think there's a clear path to victory for him by taking it to the mat and going to Bruno Silva's weakness and one of Brendan Allen's strength, 12 wins by submission, including his 3 of his last 4. I think the advantages are there for both guys to get a finish, and I think we see one, and I like the under 2.5 at this price. We keep it rolling. I already mentioned it. It's my Parlay Pals pick. Going to be one of the most electric fights on the card. Austin Lane fighting out of Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. You said you hate the Jags. That means you must hate Austin Lane, an alumnus of the Jaguars. This is a big fight for him.
I don't think that's fair. I mean, just because you play for the Jags doesn't mean I hate you. It's not your fault.
I mean, you were just going on a tangent.
I mean, I hate them for beating the Bills, but I mean, I don't hate everyone who's played for them. Mr. Lawrence seems like a great guy. Great head of hair.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Big fan of their ownership as well.
Yes. The Cons. Nice.
All right.
Nice.
It's not get crazy.
You wiggled your way out of that one nicely. That was smooth on you. I think this is going to be a fun matchup. It's your classic heavyweight fight that's on the main card, pretty much because it is a heavyweight fight. But Austin Lane, he is here for a good time, not a long time. 13 of his 15 fights have finished under the 1.5. He has never seen the scorecards. Tafa, 6 of his 9. And the good news is 8 combined UFC Dana White Contender Series fights between these two, and neither of them has ever attempted a single takedown. I think the game plan is going to be clear. They're going to come in here, they're going to swing, they're going to bang, and someone is going to fall. Austin Lane, big size advantage here. Big size advantage. 6 inches height, 6 inches reach. But I don't know if it's going to matter. Justin Tafa may just be too technical for him. Either way, I think someone's chin is going to get caught in this one. Co-main event. Amanda Hebus, I think this is all about the grappling for her. Macy Barber, 47% takedown defense last time out against Andrea Lee. We saw her got taken down 5 times. I'm not even sure she even won that fight in the last time out. Amanda Hebus looked absolutely fantastic, was able to do whatever she wanted to Viviana Araujo, ended up getting the finish. I think she's got the advantages here in the striking. I think it's probably pretty close. Macy Barber, obviously, edging her with the power. But Menahibas, sneaky, 69% striking defense. Think it's pretty even on the feet. If Hibas does not get caught and then on the ground, I think Hibas is going to have the advantages. I think she gets her hand raised. The main event, I already mentioned it. I have Ilia Topuria finishing off this parlay. Hopefully he gets it done. Josh Emmett, he is a great fighter. 38, making big cuts to featherweight, getting a phenom in Topuria. I think it's going to be a really exciting fight on the feet. But I think Topuria, the boxing, is going to get the better of Josh Emmett. And if he wants to, he can even mix in some takedowns. And then last but not least, a little prop parlay. All the under 1.5s I mentioned, I parlayed them up under 2.5. I feel confident in those, not seeing the scorecards. And that is UFC Jacksonville, Duval County. Can't wait. ViStar Memorials Arena.
Dana White said that it's their last sort of thank you to Jacksonville for opening the doors to them in the early days of the pandemic, which I think is a really nice gesture.
Yeah.
You know, bringing a stat card like this, ABC card.
That's the best card about this. I mean, that's the best part about this card is that it starts at noon Eastern.
You like that?
I love it. There's nothing better to me than a day card.
I like a 4 p.m. prelim start. I don't mind a 7 to 10. I think for someone with kids, perhaps New York Rick can back this up, the 12 p.m.ers are actually a little bit problematic. Do you agree?
Yeah, there's activities and things. It's a little early.
There's birthday parties, there's events, there's soccer games, all kinds of stuff. But what I was getting at was I was just wondering about the Tachi Palace card. Are they gonna? I don't know if you guys remember. He said he was gonna.
Yeah, make good for Tachi Palace. Let's see. Still time, you know?
I'm not going to lie. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It's so good. That actually, when I was saying it, my favorite part about it was like this like predates you. That's how wide-eyed you are. A little history for you, which is crazy that this is history because it feels like it was yesterday. When the UFC was trying to find a place to hold their events in the early days of the pandemic, they were trying to find a Native American reservation because they didn't have to adhere to the rules of the government to hold these events. So there was rumors of one in Oklahoma City or Oklahoma. I forget the name now. And then there's a venue called Tachi Palace, the casino in Lemoore, California, which has hosted many of an event, even WEC back in the day, King of the Cage. And the rumor was that they were going to essentially like rent out the Tachi Palace Casino and turn it into a UFC hotel because they weren't open for business. And that would have been where they held these events that they ended up holding at the Jacksonville arena, the ViStar Veteran Memorial, and then eventually the Apex. But the original plan was Tachi Palace in California, to the point where some group in California had to put out a statement. I mean, this was crazy. Like they were running away from the government. It was wild times. Anyways, then Dana White did an interview and essentially said that Disney told them to shut it down because this is like early April now. They were trying to do UFC, was it 249? I think.
Yeah, 249.
They were trying to do UFC 249 at this event, and this was Khabib Ferguson. And then Khabib left. It was craziness. I actually was doing, when I spoke to these kids yesterday, they asked me about like the pandemic and how, was it tough to find things to talk about? I was like, oh no, we didn't have to find anything to talk about. We had something to talk about. Like it never stopped because he was trying to go and put the event somewhere else. And remember, that's where Helwani was born, about them, finding an island and Putin getting involved. So anyway, in this interview, he said, we're going to repay Tachi Palace for allowing us to do this, even though it didn't come to fruition. I promise you, when everything gets back to normal, we're going to go to Tachi Palace and hold an event there. They've never held an event there, UFC. And so I was just wondering, maybe things haven't gone back to normal yet,
I mean, we're still at the Apex.
We're still at the
Never
Apex.
too late.
That's right. We're still at the Apex. Until that time comes, things haven't, until they leave, things haven't truly gone back to normal. All right. I think we're good. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we're probably good.
All right, cool.